Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Race Spec Esports. We are this week in the Tier 3 racing at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit, which obviously is always an exciting race. Lots of corners, as you can see, lots of opportunities for things to go wrong, especially through Eau Rouge and Raidillon. And certainly in a few other spots where overtaking is precarious at best. Into the bus stop chicane can be dicey, but it's probably one of the best overtaking spots. Pouhon, not generally viewed as an overtaking spot, but certainly I've seen it done, so it's very interesting watching a car go up the inside of another car through Pouhon, particularly in the rain. Alright, we have cars. So let's have a look and see what's going on. Alright, we've got Snickers Bud and Glorious Noodle out on medium tyres. And we are currently riding on board with Glorious Noodle, so let's stay here as he comes through into Sector 2, and interestingly does not cut the corner there, even though it certainly looked like he cut a lot of that corner. I don't know if that's a viewing glitch or what that was. Let's get some sound in from the game. Sorry for that, guys. Alright. So coming through, just came through Pouhon, coming into the last couple of corners before we run onto the last section. Up along through Blanchimont down to the bus stop chicane. We'll see what sort of time Glorious Noodle is able to put on the board here as Ton 2V goes setting the first time, and it's a 1:45.8, so a bit under a second slower than Ton 2V's soft time. So I don't know what the fuel load is that Glorious Noodle's running here, but certainly doesn't have enough on board to go again. So let's have a look. Let's see where Snickers Bud is. He's about to come into the bus stop chicane as Clarence sets a 1:44.1. So let's see what Snickers Bud can do. He goes P4 with a 1:45.0, so about 8 tenths quicker than Glorious Noodle there. Alright, we've got Honest Crooks out on an outlap, also running the medium tyres, so it will be interesting to see what sort of time Honest can put in. We'll come back and check in with him in a bit. So Toto's coming through to start a flying lap. I don't know if anybody's ahead of him that would be looking to set a time yet. Possibly Power Sight. Let's have a look. So Power Sight's coming through Sector 2 at the moment, so we'll probably be the next driver to set a lap time, and then we can go and check back in with Toto when he gets closer to completing his lap. So see how competitive this time is coming into the bus stop chicane. It's not looking like it's going to be overly quick here. It's a 1:45.0 on the soft, so not a great time. Alright, let's have a look at Toto, who's coming around, and noticed a few missing drivers at the moment from the grid, so I don't know if they're going to be arriving a bit later into quali as Toto comes through, and this is going to be a relatively slow time as well, I think. And that's a 144. Okay, that's not too bad. So that puts him into P3. Alright, let's go back up to check out Honest Crook, see where Honest is, coming through Puon. So let's see what sort of competitive time Honest Crook is able to put in. So Adi Cheng's is also on an outlap at the moment. While we wait for Toto, let's just have a look at the current standings. So Basil on tour after last week's last to first challenge is leading the Drivers' Championship on 107 points to Deputy Dilldog, who's on 89. Let's see what sort of time Honest can set here. That wasn't a great exit out of the bus stop chicane there. 145.1. So Stoby 88 is in P3 on 76 points. Snickers Bud in P4 on 69, and Clarence in P5 on 64. Adi Chengs, who was an early leader, coming around to set a flying lap now, is on 59 points in P6. 3 points behind him is the man who just finished his hot lap on the mediums, Honest Crook. Delayed Laid 48 in P8, CN Goat 46 in P9, tying with F1 Boy, who is in P10, also on 46 points. So that's your top 10 at the moment in the championship. Looking at the constructors, we've had a change at the top. McLaren have overtaken Haas into P1 in the Constructors' Championship. Only by 5 points. McLaren on 158, Haas on 153. As we watch Adi Cheng's come across the line here and sets the pole time at the moment of 1:43.9. So it's a good 0.2 of a second quicker than and then Hold Up Man Dan goes in and just blitzes that again by about 7 hundredths. Sorry, 7 tenths. That would be a massive improvement. 7 hundredths. So a bit of work to be done out there. I think the guys who went out in the mediums are probably going to have to go again if they want to start higher up the grid. I think they're probably at risk of not finishing in the top 10 anyway. Honest Crook may be the only one who could potentially still stay there, but we'll see what happens. Alright, who is Delayed Laid still in the pits? CN Goat. So the Ferrari guys are going for an unusual strategy of leaving it to the last minute by the looks. So let's have a look. Who is out on track getting ready to set a time? So F1 Boy looks like he's just starting his flying lap. So let's see whether or not there's any improvement here as we come through the very tricky section of Eau Rouge and Raidillon onto the Camel Straight, down to Les Combes, and he's currently 2 100ths down on his previous time, so that's not a great start for him. And he's just invalidated. Very easy to do there. You just run a little bit wide and that's your lap done. Alright, Asher is also on an invalid lap. And so let's see what Clarence can do here as he keeps it inside the track limits. So just coming back to the constructors table again. So as I said, McLaren on 158, Haas 5 points further back on 153. Bit of a gap forming to P3, where our Ferrari boys of Delayed Laid and CN Goat are currently sitting on 94 points. The Williams pair is Toto and it looks like Is it Toto? Sorry, no, it's Adi Chengs and Asher, I think, are in the Williams. As Clarence doesn't look like he's improving here. So the Williams team on 85 points, Alpine in 5th on 81 points, so they're not too far behind, but I think there's only one Alpine driver running tonight at the moment, and that's Toto. Then we've got, and Clarence decides to not continue that lap. Alright, Deputy Dilldog's coming into the pits. Snickers Bud looks like he's setting a fresh time. And we'll see what Snickers Bud's able to pull out the bag here. And puts it on pole with a 1:43.798. So a bit under a tenth faster than what Hold Up Mandan had already set. So Red Bull, the Red Bull team, that's Clarence and whoever his teammate is that's not here tonight, sitting in P6 on 71 points. The Alpha Tauris of Honest Crook and, well, currently tonight, Ghost Rider, sitting in P7 on 56 points. The Alfa Romeo boys of Powersight and Hold Up Mandan are sitting in P8 at the moment with 44 points. Mercedes, currently in P9 on 34, so that's El Tonki and Tontu V. They'll be looking to try and improve on that situation, I would hope. And the Aston Martin team of Glorious Noodle and whomever his missing teammate is tonight are currently in P10 on 11 points. So, not sure what's happened to Basil tonight. So Basil's running late from footy again. So if he's gonna jump into the session, he's probably gonna have to be yeah, he's going to be probably doing that last to first challenge again this week. And unfortunately, no Stoby. So Stoby is the other Alpine driver, along with Toto, who's currently sitting P3 in the Drivers' Championship. He's going to be a bit disappointed in not being able to drive tonight. So, Adi Chang's is a 10th up. He's going to have to improve by a bit more than that to and invalidates. Well, that's his thing. Hold Up Mandan still out on the medium tires. I'm not sure if he's going to try and set a faster lap on the medium tires at the end here, with the hope of starting on the mediums at the beginning of the race, which would be the better option. Medium soft to the end is definitely possible, but whether or not he can improve, which at the moment he's not, he's nearly 3/10 down on his current time, so also might depend on whether he's got enough on board to go again. And that'll depend on, I guess, his ERS charge as well. So it's a risky move. He could have potentially put this on pole without too much trouble, if he'd gone back out in the softs. So interesting strategy. Snickers Bud's gone back into the pits, so must be thinking that he's done enough to secure at the minimum a front row start here, but as Hold Up Mandan is now nearly 4/10 down on his fastest time on the softs, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. As Asher goes and puts it on pole with a 1:43.6, so Hold Up Mandan is going to have to really improve on this final flying lap. If he's going to want to get anywhere near pole. Snickersbud decided to go out again, but I doubt that Snickersbud's going to have time. Let's just... well, he might have time to get around and have another crack at it. Where's Artie Cheng's? Artie Cheng's running into the wall. I'm going to suggest that's probably Artie Cheng's qualifying over. Clarence not improving enough there, but looks. We'll see how he comes across the line. Certainly not going to be enough for pole. Not even an improvement of much at all. 7/100ths. Alright, let's... yeah, Hold Up Man's definitely not improving. I'm not sure what the strategy was there, but he certainly is not... Alright, so F1 Boy is coming around for... Oh, and has somehow put it into the wall. I'm not sure what happened there. There didn't seem to be anybody else on track at the time. And Hold Up Man Dan has just been disqualified from the session. Seeing Goat's getting out of the way. Delayed Lade still hasn't set a lap time. Alright, well let's see what Snickersbud's capable of doing here. Can Snickersbud at the death take the pole position away? Yeah, see if he can take the pole position away from Asher. So Stoby's telling me in the chat that he's very disappointed, which I imagine he would be, given that you know, he's in the championship hunt. So not being here for a race tonight, you know, it depends on what his competitors do, I guess. As we already know, Basil's probably going to be late to the game. Deputy Dill Dog's not qualifying great, so yeah, we'll have to see. Spa is one of those tracks where you know, we do see a few safety cars and people binning it. So let's see. Honest Crook has just gone fastest by nearly 7.5 tenths. We know the man's got pace, but that's leaving it right to the end there. As Snickersbud does enough to get to P2, would have put him on pole had Honest Crook not pulled out a worldie of a lap there. Unbelievable. So Power Sight's not going to improve coming into the pits. It looks like everybody else has pretty much finished. So our pole position goes to Honest Crook with a time of 1:43.219. Snickersbud in P2 alongside him to start with a 1:43.353. Asher in P3 with the 1:43.652. Power Sight 1:43.749 in P4. Delayed Lade did manage to put a time in there at the end of a 1:43.879. Artie Cheng's probably not with the qualifying that he was hoping for. A 1:43.9 there. The last of the runners in the 1:43s. Everybody else was in the 1:44s or lower. So we will see how this one develops. And Basil may not be making the race. So if Basil's not making the race and Deputy Dill Dog doesn't have a great race, then Stoby may not lose out by as much as he possibly could have. That being said, I guess let's look at where we are. Oops. With the standings again. Snickersbud in P4 could potentially be a big gainer here. If he can convert that P2 into a podium finish, that'll put him back in the hunt with the top three. If he can get the win and the fastest lap, that'll get him up to 90 points. 95 points, which will put him into P2, assuming Deputy Dilldog does not score. Honest Crook down in P7 with the pole position, 56 points. So would certainly launch him up the table, but not significantly. Clarence could be another gainer here. If he manages to put in a good result. So if Deputy Dilldog can get a good race in here, he can take the championship lead, probably with minimal fuss, because obviously no Basil. Oh, Basil has made it. Basil has made it. Well, there we go. So he has made it. And what are we starting on here? So it looks like everybody bar Deputy Dilldog, Ghost Rider, El Tonki and Hold Up Man starting on the softs. So Basil's decided to go for the soft start this week, after making the accidental error of choosing the medium tyre last week that worked out very well for him. I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't decided to go for the mediums again. Still think the medium soft strategy is still probably the best way to go, even if there is an early safety car. That's the potential there for the soft runners who pit onto the mediums early may need to pit again unless we get more safety cars. So it's an interesting one, as Basil has left the session, so that's not a great start for Basil. So I guess we'll have to see what happens to Basil, whether he's disconnected currently. Alright, so cars are trundling their way around the track on the parade lap, if you like, or the warm-up lap, or formation lap, whatever you want to call it. It's really down to you ultimately what you want to refer to it as. But for me, it's the warm-up lap. This is getting the tyres warm, getting them into the window, getting ready to go racing. As Clarence and F1 Boy have obviously come together in the warm-up lap there and have disqualified themselves from the from the lap, which means, I guess, in theory, they start on cold tyres. So this is not a great view. How can we get a better view here? I love how the views are really useful. Alright, well, it looks like we're going to be stuck with starting from this view, folks. So 5 lights and we are racing. Not a great start there from Honest Crook. Snickersbud seems to have potentially gotten the better getaway there as they dive into the corner, and Snickersbud has to run wide. There's a few cars running wide as we go through turn 1. Did they all get through there okay? It looks like they all got through there okay. As they've all come through Eau and Radion unscathed. Snickers Bud is looking at the inside of Honest Crook, but decides against it at this point. But he's also got Asher there in for company, although the gap is we've got that out to the leader. Let's change that to interval, as Basil has gone out of the race. Not not exactly what Basil was looking for tonight, having gone in last. I'm not sure what's happened there, but I'm sure somebody will let me know what's happened there. And we've already got a safety car as El Tonki's trundling around at the back there. As Toto on lap 1 has already managed to pick up a 3-second time penalty as the virtual safety car ends. Honest Crook with Snickers Bud close in behind. They've built a bit of a gap already to Asher, whether Asher was just caught napping a bit there. Deputy Dill Dogs battling out with Power Side at the moment for that P4 position on track. As Toto goes into the pits, so I'm presuming Toto's taken some damage somewhere along the line there. As Deputy Dill Dog's still chasing down Power Sight. He's in his slipstream, but we're going to have to wait for DRS to open up, I think, before Deputy Dill Dog's going to get to have a crack. Alright, so they're both relatively close to Asher as well, so they can, or the Deputy Dill Dog's just dropped out of DRS, so that's not great, but he is on those medium tyres, as we can see, so he is going to go much longer into the race than the others, but already up to P5 with the medium tyres is not bad, as Artie Cheng's and Delayed Late are battling it out for P6. As Honest Crook sets the fastest lap time, and Delayed Late's coming into the pits. I'm trying to work out whether or not Delayed Late's taken some damage there, as it seems a bit odd to pit on lap 3 without any damage. Well, let's have a look. Yep, so there's a front wing change there, so as Toto's got, that's that 3-second penalty, I would imagine. Alright, so saying soft hard or soft medium are the predicted strategies here, but I'm fairly certain we will get another safety car, and Snickers Bud is now right on the tail of Honest Crook. We'll get another safety car, I imagine, before this race is done, as Tontu V and Ghost Rider swap positions on track. Snickers Bud is chasing down Honest Crook as we come through the section down into, I think it's Stavelo, before we come around onto the final sector here. Will Snickers Bud go for the move down into the bus stop chicane. No, he doesn't. Honest Crook holds the middle line on the track. So Snickers Bud is going to have to wait to have another go down the Camel Straight, I think. Although he wants to get a little bit closer than that before they get to the straight. Otherwise, he's not going to be close enough. So DRS open now. He'll be opening up that ERS and looking to get the pass done easily before they get into Lacombe, which he does. So Snickers Bud takes the lead of the race from Honest Crook, as Toto sets the fastest lap, being on those fresh tyres. As Ghost Rider and Tontu V swap spots again. There's not much else going on track at the moment. As Glorious Noodle and F1 Boy swap spots on the track as well. Alright, let's have a look. Let's just ride back here with these guys. There's a little bit of action here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers battling out for P9. A little bit of lag there from Tontu V, I think, as he stayed ahead of Clarence. Hold Up Man Dan on those medium tyres, sitting in P11. As they go through Blanchimont down to the bus stop chicane. We'll see whether or not anybody's going to get a pass on in here. No, nobody's getting a pass on in here. Anybody going to brave it into La Source? It looks like Clarence has had a look. He's had a look, and oh, there's a little bit of lag there. He's driven right into Tontu V there. Hopefully he hasn't actually taken any damage, as we get the regular glitch. Snickers Bud and Honest Crook. Snickers Bud has managed to hang on to the position, and Hold Up Man Dan has gotten past Tontu V, as has Clarence. Tontu V's dropped down. URL Ghost Rider is you know, Cody's they fix the game, and then they still don't fix things that need to be fixed. The timing's all up the. I mean, apparently Clarence is 3/100ths off of URL Ghost Rider, but I'm pretty certain that is not correct. So it's a very broken game, this version of the game, unfortunately. Alright, so we're starting to get something happening. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. Not sure what's happened. And we have a safety car. A Glorious Noodle has binned it. Going through Blanchimont by the looks of it. Has lost the back end and put it into the wall. That's an unfortunate end for Glorious Noodle, as we see some cars come into the pits, and El Tonki's decided to go in and put the hard tyres on to go to the end of the race. Seems a strange move, given that we're probably going to get another safety car, but you know, El Tonki does what El Tonki does. So none of our front runners pitted. So Snickers Bud didn't pit. Honest Crook didn't pit. Asher didn't pit. So Deputy Dilldog's up to P5 with Artie Cheng's in P6. So the only ones who stopped, El Tonki F1 boy, potentially. Toto's pitted again. So I'm seeing in the YouTube chat that that Basil and Powersight had a coming together that led to Basil's DNF. So that might be an interesting one for the stewards later. We'll see whether or not anything comes of that. So safety car neutralizes the race for a bit. Not a lot of action to talk about at the moment. And it looks like Glorious Noodle and Tontu V had coming together, and that's what led to Glorious Noodle's crash, as the front runners do decide to come in and pit now. So it'll be interesting to see what do they do tyre wise here. Okay, so Hold Up Man Dan has gone on to the medium tyres. Snickers Bud has gone on to the hards. Honest Crook has also gone on to the hards. Ash has gone on to the mediums. Powersight's gone on to the hards. Deputy Dill Dog's gone on to the hards. Artie and CN Goat have both gone on to the mediums. Ghost Rider's gone from the mediums to the softs, which seemed like a strange choice to do. Clarence onto the mediums. As Tontu V, El Tonki had already pitted for the hards. So some interesting strategy choices there. Some interesting chat going on in the chat. The Basil fan club are up in arms over what happened with Powersight. So justice for Basil, I'm seeing in the chat. So it's very, very entertaining. So some interesting strategies: medium, hard, soft. If it was me, I'd probably, if I was on the softs, I would have gone onto the mediums, knowing that they will go to the end. Because again, we're under the safety car. We've got we're gonna have probably, by the time the safety car comes in, which we'll do another tour yet, because Toto hasn't caught up to the back, so that'll be 8 laps down. So we're going to have 14 laps left, and the mediums can go 14 laps without too much trouble here at all. But again, we're also going to have another safety car, so going on to the hard tyre, well, I say we're going to have another safety car. There's a good chance we'll have another safety car. So going on to the hard tyres seemed like a strange choice. To me, I definitely would have thought the mediums would have been the better option, but we'll see how it pays out. The hard runners may decide if there's another safety car to stay out, and we saw that the other week, that going on to hard tyres and staying out can actually be a good strategy. So I learnt that the hard way, coming in and putting softs on in a race, and ending up further down the grid than I probably would have wanted to have been. So we'll see what happens here, folks. So we are going to do another tour. I imagine the safety car will come in this lap, although it looks like we've had a couple of cars go back in and repit and change from the hards back onto the mediums again. So we'll have to wait for them to catch up to the back. I imagine that otherwise we're going to go for a another lap around here, but they might catch up in time for before we reach the point at which will be, I would have imagined, the start of Sector 2, that decision starts to be catered for. But we'll find out momentarily whether the safety car is coming in, as Ton2V picks up a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Clarence. An F1 boy has now left the session, so not sure what's happened there. As well, I don't know what to say, folks, but I don't know if it's me or if it's the game. But I've just lost. I've just lost the game. Oh dear. Oh dearie dear. Alright, bear with me. So it looks like I had an issue, not the game. Well, sorry, the game had an issue on my end, not the race. So everything is as it's supposed to be, other than the fact that we've just missed a bit of the race. So do apologise for that, guys. I'm not sure what's happened. It did that to me during the race on Sunday night when I was racing, so I'm not sure what's happening, whether my PS4 is on the way out, which is always possible. It is quite old now, and it's probably time to pick up a PS5 when I can actually get my hands on one. So at the moment I've got no intervals, so I've got no idea what's going on, what's of interest on track. Everything seems to still be very close, so anything's possible. Let's just have a look. As Deputy Dildog's having a look at Power Sight, and Artie Chengs is in behind there as well, along with Asher, as we've got a virtual safety car as Clarence has, and we've got a full safety car again as, oh dear. So I don't know if Clarence binned it going through the bus stop chicane. I'm assuming that's what's happened. Alright, so as I said, another safety car, but probably a bit too soon to be repitting again, except Ghost Rider's decided to do exactly that, and is going onto the hard tyres. Seems like a strange choice. 12 laps to go, why you'd go onto the hard tyres and not onto another set of mediums, even if they were slightly used. Would be a much better tyre. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from here, folks. Not a lot of penalties so far, which is good to see. Only the 8 seconds that Ton2V's picked up for exceeding track limits, and then that collision under safety car. It's good that they've fixed that now. It looks like only the car from behind is going to get a penalty now, potentially, which makes a lot more sense. So, Hold Up Man Dan, at the moment, the biggest winner here, having gained 15 places. Because he has yet to pit. So, I guess he's probably banking on another safety car. It's what I did on Sunday, and stayed on the tyres far too long, which then resulted in me having a spin and just ruining the rest of the race. So, we're going to have to probably do at least another tour as Uriel Ghost Rider tries to catch up with the pack, because I don't think they're going to catch up before that line on the track where the decision is made whether the safety car comes in or not. So I imagine we'll probably be going around. We'll do lap 12 behind the safety car as well, assuming that nobody else decides to come in and pit again on the end of this lap. As Ghost Rider's picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so he's our second penalty gainer for today. Or at least of the running drivers. I'm not sure about the ones who DNF'd, whether anybody actually picked up a time penalty. Obviously Basil wasn't out on track long enough to pick up a time penalty, but the others may well have. I can't remember now. So it looks like we'll be going around for another tour as we wait for Uriel's Ghost Rider to catch up to the back of the pack. Alright, so we're going to go around again. Let's Hold Up Man Dan carries us forward. So where does this leave things at the moment? If Hold Up Man Dan can hold on to this lead, get a lucky pit under a late safety car, well, it's not going to move him up a lot. He's currently in 16th place. So 25 points will get him up to, what's that? That'll be 33 points, which at the moment would put him ahead of Combat Wombat, who's no longer racing, but behind everybody else who is still out on track, other than Ton2V and El Tonki, who, if they hold their positions where they are at the moment, will be a reasonable point score for the Mercedes team, who have been struggling, but if Hold Up Man Dan stays where he is, he's going to jump those two, I think, even if they score points here. So as it stands, Snickers Bud's probably going to be the biggest gainer at the minute. So Honest Crook's gone back into the pits and grabbed a fresh set of medium tyres. Snickers Bud If he stays out in those hards for the rest of this race, could potentially take the race win, depending on what happens with Hold Up Man Dan and any future safety cars, which will jump him, like I said, it'll jump him up probably into P2, possibly depending on what happens with Dilldog. If Deputy Dilldog manages to stay where he is or improve a bit, then he'll probably hold on to second place, possibly. If he can get a bit higher up the grid, maybe jump into first. So safety car is coming in this lap. Unfortunately, Clarence is out, so that's going to ruin his position in the table. As Artie Cheng's is still in the race, he'll jump ahead, as possibly will Honest Crook and Delayed Laid as well. Possibly even CN Goat, depending on... Oh, no. Delayed Laid and CN Goat too far back to be able to jump Clarence on their current positions. Alright, Hold Up Man Dan is bringing us around Blanchimont, ready to get us restarted, and he's gone already before we even get to the bus stop chicane. He hasn't really caught anybody napping though. And everybody's kind of holding station. Nobody's looking to get an overtake. But Deputy Dilldog has had a think about it. Looked up the inside of Power Site. There is a side by side now. This could be. Oops. And he's managed to get ahead. Managed to get ahead before we even got to Eau Rouge, which is a great move. As Delayed Laid is looking to get the overtake done on Artie Cheng's as they go into Lecom, but he's too far back. He's not going to be able to get it done. El Tonki, Honest Crook, and El Tonki battling side by side there. That was fairly clean. Anything else happening anywhere on track? CN Goat's looking to go up the inside. That is not generally a place you would get an overtake done, but he's hanging on to it there as Tontu V is running a bit wide as CN Goat gets that position over. Tontu V's connection is pretty ordinary. He's sort of blipping all over the place. Alright, so let's go back to the front. So Hold Up Man Dan is running away from Snickers Butt at the moment, even on those old medium tyres. Ash is a bit further back, but then we've got that battle. Delayed Laid, Artie Cheng's, Power Site. As Delayed Laid runs a little bit wide there and picks himself up a time penalty for multiple warnings, presumably, as they come around through the bus stop chicane to start another lap. As Delayed Laid just touches the back end of Artie Cheng's there, and there's a bit of damage. Oh dear. There's going to be some remonstrating later on, I think, folks, as that's severely impacted on Artie Cheng's race there, as Delayed Laid's teammate CN Goat is looking to try and capitalise, but Artie Cheng's is trying to get back ahead of El Tonki and manages to get the move done. I'm not sure what's going on with the audio from the game, folks, but it sounds pretty ordinary. So I do apologise for that. CN Goat is chasing these two down as well. I imagine Delayed Laid is going to have to pit, because I saw bits come off of a Ferrari there, and I'm going to assume it's not CN Goat that's got the damage, although CN Goat has just binned it. Oh no, maybe it was CN Goat with the damage. Dear oh dear. Alright, URL Ghost Rider is getting the move done on Tontu V, as Tontu V is dropping further and further back. I'm trying to see if Delayed Laid's got damage. Yeah, he does. Delayed Laid definitely has damage. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not that one comes up in the steward's office at all. So Artie Cheng's didn't take any damage out of the situation, but did drop down a couple of positions. So is going to be in a spot of bother now, because he's going to have to try and catch back up to Honest Crook ahead of him. So for all of that, lots of gaps have opened up. There's nobody really close to anybody. Hold Up Man Dan's pulled a 2-second gap to Snickers Bud, as Delayed Laid and CN Goat come into the pits. They've had to double stack, unfortunately, the Ferrari boys, which is not going to do either of their races any good. And naturally they're going onto the soft tyres, which makes absolute sense. Ton2V comes into the pits as well. And leaves again, manages to split the Ferrari pair in the process. Alright, Powersight and Deputy Dilldog. Seems like that's the closest battle we have on track at the moment, folks. Which is not all that close at all, really, in the grand scheme of things. So, Hold Up Man Dan, as Powersight picks up a 3-second time penalty, so that's not going to help his cause at all. Hold Up Man Dan, on those 14 lap old medium tyres, is going to have to pit soon. So we're going to have to, as Ton2V picks up yet another penalty, and we're seeing penalties all over the place now, as Artie Cheng's has got one as well. And then goes and sets the fastest lap. Alright, so Powersight still trying to chase down Deputy Dilldog. Deputy Dilldog holding on in P4. Asher's sort of sitting there in as Honest Crook picks up. Oh no, Honest Crook. What has happened to Honest Crook? What has happened to Honest Crook? He has binned it in Radeon, as we've likely got another safety car, have we? As we ride on board with F1 Boy, and we can see Hold Up Man Dan's Honest Crook's car there. So unfortunately, no safety car. So no safety car has been called, which means Hold Up Man Dan is not going to get the benefit. Although we've got yellow flags again. Have we had somebody else go out? F1 Boy has had a moment by the looks of things and has lost his front wing. Alright, Deputy Dilldog, Asher and Powersight. Very close battle here between Asher and Deputy Dilldog, as Asher holds on to the position. No, he goes into the pits. Asher has decided to pit. Those medium tyres not doing what he wanted them to do. Has decided to pit, which elevates Deputy Dilldog into P3. He's still got Powersight for company. As we're seeing a few drivers potentially pitting. No, so Hold Up Man Dan is hanging it out on those medium tyres. How many stops has Hold Up Man Dan had? Has he actually pitted already? No, he has not. So he has not pitted. He is going to have to pit. He's only got 5 laps. He needs to run the 2 compounds. If he doesn't pit soon, there's F1 Boyd and CN Goat both pit. Delayed Laid picks up the fastest lap. So Snickers Bud, it's unfortunate. Honest Crook was, putting it on pole. Was in a good position to gain some valuable points there, but unfortunately whatever's happened there through Eau Rouge and Radeon has not gone well at all. So F1 boy picks up a penalty, so the penalties are starting to drop now as drivers are making more and more mistakes. But Hold Up Man Dan, now on to lap 18, he is really trying and hoping for a safety car. That's the only thing I can imagine is going through his head. So at the moment, if he were to pit, he's going to come out probably in P8 behind Asher. So at the moment, Deputy Dilldog is really sitting on P2, really, realistically speaking, given that Hold Up Man Dan still has to pit. And I think our chances of getting another safety car are getting slimmer and slimmer. He may get away with if there's maybe a virtual safety car situation develop, but he can't. These medium tires must be coming to the end of their useful life. Asher is catching up to Ghost Rider. Looks like if we go to that battle, Asher looks like he's probably going to get an overtake done on Ghost Rider fairly soonish. I'm really not sure what's going on with that audio, folks, but they're going to go side by side through Blanchimont. Oh no, and they've touched, and Ghost Rider goes around and hits the wall. Has he taken damage? It's hard to see from that view. Let's try and see it from another view. It doesn't look like there's any significant damage done there, but he is pitting, so presumably damage has been done, and that'll be pretty much the end of his race, I would think. Well, at least as far as improving goes, he's going to drop down right down the order as he gets his wing replaced. So Hold Up Man Dan now on lap 19 on those tyres. He is going to have to pit. He's hanging for that safety car as CN Goat and Delayed Laid swap fastest laps. So really a top three here at the moment is looking like Snickers Bar, Deputy Dilldog and Power Sight, unless there is a miracle safety car with 3 laps to go, which seems highly unlikely, as Power Sight is chasing down Deputy Dilldog to try and get that, what is ultimately going to be second place, as we've had another spinner somewhere further back in the field there. As Power Sight is, as Hold Up Man Dan finally pits and comes out. Where's he going to come out? He is going to come out just behind El Tonki, but ahead of Asher. So he's managed to actually get out ahead of Asher. So that's not bad. That's pretty good outcome. Snickers Bud, as I said earlier, the hard tyre choice seems to have been a good choice to go with. They haven't needed to pit again, these hard runners, and they are currently holding P1 and P2. So it's going to be a good outcome for the McLaren boys tonight. That's going to solidify their position at the top of the constructors' standings, given that Hold Up Mandan's the only Haas driver still out there. I think, oh no, Powersight and Hold Up Mandan are the Haas's, or are they the Alphas? No, they're the Alphas. Sorry. So the Alfa Romeo drivers are going to pick up some valuable points in the championship. But yeah, no finishes for Haas. Or F1 boy will finish for Haas. And we'll, at this point in time, we'll pick up a point for fastest lap. So we are on to the penultimate tour of the Spa-Francorchamps course here in the Ardennes, as the only action on track really to speak of is this battle here for what is ostensibly P2. Well, it literally is P2 now because Hold Up Mandan is pitted. So it will be interesting to see whether or not... What do we got? Deputy Dildog doesn't have a lot of ERS, but Powersight does. So this could... We could see Powersight potentially power past Deputy Dildog down the Camel Straight on the last tour here. Because he's got plenty in his locker in the ERS stakes. So we could see a battle for P2 on the last lap. Now, bear in mind, Powersight does have that 3-second penalty, so he's going to be hoping that Dildog, between now and the end of the race, picks up a penalty, which means that if he can get ahead of him, he will, assuming Powersight's only got the 3 seconds, let's actually check that. Yes, he does. Adi Cheng's has managed to recover a bit up to P4 after the issue with delayed late earlier. So, biggest gainer here was Deputy Dildog, but Hold Up Mandan probably slightly better in P11. So we'll see what happens here with as Hold Up Mandan goes up to 4th. Not sure what's happened there. He's gotten ahead of Artie Cheng's. Is Powersight going to be close enough to have a go at... I don't think he is. I don't think he's going to have... He's not going to be close enough. And Deputy Dildog's managed to almost get into the DRS. Is he going to go for the... No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Deputy Dildog does close the door fairly early there, and that's pretty much the race over, I think, as Asher is dropping, or is Asher gaining? Looks like Asher lost out to El Tonki there. So Deputy Dildog nearly got back into DRS of his teammate. I don't know whether or not that was a deliberate ploy, if Snickersbud dropped off the pace slightly to allow his teammate to get back into slipstream to keep him ahead of Powersight. I guess that's something that may get discussed later in the Discord. But I think as it stands at the minute, unless Powersight goes for an ambitious move up the inside of Dildog into the bus stop chicane, I think we are going to see... And Dildog closes the door on him, does he? Or is he going to get there? We're going to go across the line with these two side by side. Who is going to get across the line first? And it is going to be Deputy Dildog, who gets across the line, but has a 20... What on earth is that about? Where am I? Wrong one. it's not showing me, but Deputy Dilldog was handed a 20-second penalty there right at the end. I think the game's probably broken there. He definitely finished across the line ahead of Powersight. So I think that the game has ripped Deputy Dilldog a ripper there. So I'm just checking out in the Discord to see what actually happened there. Because something certainly wasn't right. I think I'm just trying to see what's happened there at the end of the race and what the 20 seconds was for. So he stayed wide and the game prompted him with an illegal overtake as I went over the line. Ah, dear, oh dear. So that might actually mean yeah, that'll be an interesting one as to I'll have to appeal that one. I don't know if any of the drivers are going to join us for post-race interviews. I forgot to actually set up the lobby. So I can try and do that now, and things are a little bit rushed tonight. So if I... So Snickers Bud, P1, Powerside I think technically will probably be P3 with Deputy Dilldog in P2, but we'll see what happens there. I think Deputy Dilldog's going to have to I guess appeal for that penalty to be removed potentially. So let me just get back into and see if I can. Where are we? Sorry, let's go. No, hang on. Where do we need to go? Here we go. Pacific T3. Start a party, and we'll see whether or not we can get any of the drivers onto do some interviews. Alright, okay, Hold Up Man Dan has joined. Alright, let's have a chat to Hold Up Man Dan. It wasn't on the podium, I don't think, technically, or did he end up finishing on the podium there at the end? Let me get this working. Are you there, Hold Up Man Dan? Ooh. It's a little bit, yeah, the audio is a little bit weird. So I don't know if it's an issue on my end. The audio in the game was a little bit weird earlier, so... Did you want to try talking again, and we'll see if we can capture anything? Oh, not really. It's you're sounding a million miles away and like you're under cement.
Let me try this. Is that any better?
it is a bit better, but it's still quite weird. So I don't know if the audio is on the issues on my end. Like I said, the game audio was being very weird earlier. Oh, there's a bit of echo as well. Have we still got you there? Are you there? Yeah, it's still pretty ordinary. So I don't know. I don't know if it's my end. I had some issues with the audio in the latter half of the game, so it might be my end. This may not work very well. We'll try anyway. Let's see how we go. So hung out on those medium tyres for as long as you could. I assume you were hoping for a late safety car that would allow you to pit and go onto some softs.
Yeah, I was, mate. In hindsight, I should have stopped it earlier because I reckon I could have caught those leaders. I was only about 5 seconds down on the leader, I think, at the end of the race. So if I'd pitted a few laps earlier, I reckon I might have got there.
Yeah. It was certainly I guess a bold strategy to stay on the medium tyres as long as you did. I know that they probably would have been well used by the time you went into the pit. Did you have a look to see what your tyre wear was like before you pitted?
Yeah, they were over 60% wear, but they were still going good, so there was no worries at all. It was just that I thought for sure we'd get another safety car. I just thought there'd be safety cars all race at Belgium just because of the the likelihood of people running off the road constantly at that track. So, but we only got two, so I was surprised with that. I think Otis Cook had a late accident.
Yeah, he
That
did.
might be a safety car.
Yeah,
Yeah, it didn't work out.
no, it didn't happen. I don't know whether the way the algorithms work in the game, whether if you have less cars on track, you have less chance of safety cars being called when something happens. Whether that played into it at all. But I was when he crashed, I was expecting a safety car, and I thought this was going to play right into your hands, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, I know, because I was going like all hell trying to get as much gap as I possibly could just in case that did happen. I would have even been happy with a virtual safety car or anything, so, but it wasn't speed.
Yeah, unfortunate, but I guess still not a bad result in the end. From where from where you started, I think you were gained quite a few positions from your starting position, so pretty good result all round anyway.
Yeah, I've got COVID as well, so
Oh,
that's not
jeez.
helping.
Yeah, no.
My
No.
whole family has, we're all in isolation, so
Oh,
it's good to have something to do.
well, definitely. Well done anyway on the race tonight. You did a good job. So good luck for next week in Russia. I think we are. So
Yeah, that's one of my favourite tracks actually. But yeah, thanks very much for commentating too, and thanks to the organisers for putting the races on every week. It's really good fun.
no worries. Thank you. All right. I think we
Alright,
got
mate, I'll speak to you later.
no worries. We'll do. I think we got Deputy Dilldog on the line. So let's have a chat to Deputy Dilldog.
Yep.
How are you? How are you feeling after what happened right there at the end?
Uh, yeah, it was pretty good until the last couple of meters. Yeah, qualifying didn't go well. So the finish there, yeah, pretty happy with that though.
Yeah, I mean, from where you started, I think in the end you gained, I think, overall 10 places in the race. So that was a good result. And I guess you'll probably appeal whatever that penalty was at the end there. Um, seems probably a little bit harsh, but I guess that's one for the potentially for the stewards to look at, or maybe even just your league coordinator and results coordinator can probably have a look at that as well. It was a pretty good battle there you had at the end with Powersight. I thought that I thought you were in danger because he had quite a lot of ERS still in the tank, and I thought he's going to get him here on the last lap potentially as you went down the Camel Straight, but he wasn't close enough, so he couldn't get the overtake done there, which only left him the opportunity to throw it into the bus stop chicane. And I guess he would have known he had a penalty. He was probably hoping that you were going to pick up, a penalty there towards the end and hopefully be able to snatch the P2 from you. But obviously that didn't happen. But then there was that weird thing that happened when you crossed the line.
Yeah. I started behind him for most of the race, and then got past him a couple laps after the safety car, I think, the last one. And then pulled out a second and felt like it was pretty comfortable. And then, yeah, he really started to pull me in that last two laps. And then, yeah, I had a look down the inside at the final lap. I broke it a little bit deeper than normally would, so I think that kept him out. And then thought I'd take the inside line to the bus stop and then get the wide exit.
So I noticed that on that last lap there that you caught right back up to Snickersbud. Was that a team sort of thing there? Did he drop off his pace slightly to allow you to get back in his slipstream to help you fight off Powersight, or was that just dumb luck?
Possibly, yeah, I'm not sure. He definitely had a bit of pace. So I assume he must have slowed down a little bit. I was actually surprised not to get the DRS in that last lap. So I was the 10th or 9/10 behind him after the DRS point. So
Yeah.
I must have just been out of it.
Yeah, I did. That's what I thought. I thought maybe that was the strategy. I thought maybe he'd backed off so that it would allow you to catch up and get into the DRS to give you that push to stay ahead of Powersight. So unfortunately, Snickersbud forgot, so he's already off. So we're not going to be able to ask him that question, unfortunately. But I guess for you, good result tonight anyway. If you can get that penalty removed, because that'll launch you, I think, into the Drivers' Championship lead, if my maths is working right for me at the moment.
Yes, yeah, I think by 5 or 7 points, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's all crashed in front of me. So I was pretty happy as I was going past. Keep on the track myself.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be possibly something in the stewards' room afterwards from whatever happened with Basil and Powersight. I think they had a coming together there on very early doors that resulted in Basil not finishing the race. So will be interesting to see what comes of that one and what impact that might actually have on the finishing positions of everybody in the race as a result.
Yep.
Well done again, and hopefully you can get that penalty removed, and good luck for next week. We'll see you in Russia.
Yep, see you soon. Thanks for coming.
No worries. Alright, thanks everybody for joining in tonight and watching. So we had a number of people watching along A bit of banter going on in the chat, so it was good to see. Apologies for the audio, I'm not sure what's going on there, and also apologies for the temporary disappearance of the race. I'm going to have to work out what's going on there, because that happened again on Sunday, so I'm not sure what's happening with my PS4. Anyway, we'll see you next week in Russia.